So yesterday we were talking about how to do flyers, and today we're going to talk about research papers and how to kind of create these effectively. I think I've already kind of gone into this, but I just want to reiterate. When I started, let me make sure I'm recording here. Yeah. When I started school, college, one of the things that has driven me crazy the entire time is doing bibliographies. Today we're going to learn some tools about bibliographies that make them absolutely phenomenally easy to do, because whenever we write in education, we should be citing people. We should be finding good sources and putting them into our papers. So this could be tedious, because I would get done with a paper that took me a long time to do, and I'd have 28, 29 sources, and you spend 4 or 5 hours just making sure everything is put in there right. Here at this college, we use APA format. Does anybody know what writing formats are used for? Ms. Antoinette, explain that to you. What should you say?
The structure of the paper.
Well, it's the structure. It's the way we put together.
The structure of how you're going to turn the paper, so you can have one type of format. Everybody's not kind of turning it in
Right.
different ways, different types, different.
This is the problem. See, if we started turning in papers, let's say Gabby would be like, you know what, I'm just going to get this done, turned in. Here you go, Mr. Greer. She's just like, no nonsense. I got stuff to do with my life, right? Jen here would stay up at night, and she'd be like, you know what, Mr. Greer, he likes apples. He likes Macintosh. He likes that brand. I'm going to make me a white folder. I'm probably going to emboss the Apple logo on it, and I'm going to hand it in with every page is going to have a little watermarked Apple symbol on it, because this is going to be the most amazing paper he's ever seen. And I would get it, and I'd look at it and be like, man, it's got Apple logos all over it. All right, this is my favorite. And she could write nothing that's important, and then I'd be like, A+. And Gabby could have this incredible paper, and I'd be like, she didn't even try. She didn't even put it in a folder, and I'd give her a B. What we do is, there's no right or wrong writing format, okay? Like, let's just say there's a bunch of different types. There's APA, there's MLA, there's Harvard, Chicago, there's all these different writing styles. We at this college have chosen to use APA format, okay? Every college I've ever gone to in my career has used APA. I would say like 45% of the colleges in America use MLA, 45% of them use APA, and the other 10% have like either their own writing style, like Harvard or Chicago. They just have different writing styles and style guides they do. It doesn't make one right or wrong, okay? But we've chosen APA, so we're going to use that. But having said that, this book is written in the MLA format, okay? So all the examples are in MLA. Don't stress out about it. Don't freak out when you write your first paper. We're just copying what's in here to see how it works, and then we can move on with APA as we go forward, okay? So let's go ahead and start writing a research paper. If we can all flip to Word Chapter 2, it's on page 70. We'll start seeing this stuff, and today we're going to get into a couple more little options and features. Pull my mouse out. Excellent. Okay, so first off, this little group up here is called our styles drawer. And styles are really important, let me tell you. A lot of people that do ghetto word, they don't like to use styles, okay? I'm here to tell you, ghetto word is when you just try to make it look right. And let me just give you an example. Nobody copy me, I'm just gonna give you an example. But let's say we're doing our cheeseburger topic here, and we do cheeseburgers are the best food ever, whatever, okay? Our first topic that we're gonna talk about is gonna be something like tastes great. I'm just gonna make up some headings here. Tastes great. What is it? Delivered, quick delivery. And the last one is very portable. Then I just start typing in here, okay? And I type in here. I'm doing paragraphs of text in here. Well, I'm just pretending. And as I do these things, I go, you know what? I think it would look better in my paper if my headings that I had on this paper were all underlined. So I come up and I underline it. I'm like, oh, that's great. And I have to come down here and I have to underline this. I have to highlight it, underline it. Now this is okay if I have a 1-page, maybe a 2-page paper. But when I get into a 5-page paper, and let's say I have 10 headings, I've got to hunt through the whole document and find all the headings and do this. Well, Word has this little style drawer. And if we look at this, we can drop this down. There are lots of different headings in here. We have a title, we have a heading 1, a heading 2. These styles all change based upon what our document style is, what our template, our theme is for the entire document. But in this default version of Word, if I was to come up here and highlight this, and call it a title, notice instantly my title's been reformatted. There's a line under it. It's justified a certain way. It's a certain text size. If I grab my heading 1, or I'm going to call this a heading 1. If I come up here and I call this a heading 1, as I'm writing it, if I do this, if I call this a heading 1, and then I'm going to highlight this one, and I make this a heading 1, then I come down here and make this a heading 1. The beauty is, if for some reason you have someone like me who's your teacher, and I'm like, you know what? If you guys use Calibri in your paper, I will not grade it. I'm just going to give you an F. I don't want to see it. I don't want to read it. I hate that font. That sans serif font drives me crazy, right? I can come over here, and since I'm in my normal right now, you can see that there's a normal style. Sorry, it's hard to read because of the board the way it is. But if I just highlight this little section and I change it, let's say to Arial. Let's go to something basic here. Yeah, Arial. So I've changed it to Arial. While it's highlighted, if I come up here and I right mouse click on my style, I could say update normal to match this selection. And as I do that, notice that everything in the paper that was normal just changed. I didn't have to go reformat anything else. Same example happens with a heading 1. Let's just say in heading 1 I've decided, you know what, all my heading 1s should be red. I just changed the color to red. If I come over here to heading 1 and I right mouse click it and I say update to match style, all my heading 1s throughout my entire paper go to red. That's pretty cool, isn't it? So this is something that will save you a ton of time as papers get longer and longer, which they will. You guys are just starting, so they're going to be relatively short. But by the end of year 2, you're going to be like, thank you, Mr. Greer, for teaching me that styles thing, because it's really paid off in time. So this is something that you just want to keep in mind as we go today, that styles are a way that we can totally modify the entire paper very quickly and quotes. Excuse me. We have things in here like quotes. If you wanted to make sure that every intense quote is right here, or a quote is like this, we can make up our own styles. I've done that in plenty of papers where I have something in particular, like I did poetry on one. I think there might even be a poetry one in here. But I made up a poetry style. You can create a new style whenever you want if you need it, or you can just clear the formatting through here. So having said that, let's just start with a new document here. I'm going to get rid of this one.